Okay.
Yeah, man, this guy.
Alright, bro, it's recording. It's recording. Bro, it's recording. I'm gonna start.
Let's just play
Sicko. Sicko. You being a sicko.
back.
Oh, you being a sicko. Okay.
I've been caught.
I just know it, bro. I know, bro. You being a sicko, bro.
Alright, come in, just, you know.
Hey, man, what's going on, guys? Tune into the verses, Jeezy versus
10-17 Brick Squad Monopoly was good. Nah, Jeezy's also some safe competition too. It's a good game. It's very good.
It's very good. All right. What's good, y'all? It's the 3MDs. We are back. It has been way too long. But we're so happy to be here with you guys today. And we're just gonna kick it off by starting to say that we want to just give you a quick rundown of what's been going on. This year has been a lot. 2020 has really been one for the books. Man, so much has gone on. Where do I start, man? Where do I start, guys? Where do I start? I don't even know where to start.
Was last time talked to them in like what, December, November?
Yeah, since last year, man.
February when we started, like when school ended, and then we thought the world was normal.
When we thought the world was a normal place. Yeah, this year has been one hell of a plot twist. But like I said, you know, once again, if you're new to the channel, if you this is your first time watching our video, my name is Derek.
My name is Trev.
Kennedy.
All right, and we are currently third-year med students at Boonshaw School of Medicine. We go to Wright State. And you know, our last video, I believe, we talked about. We had our guy. We had Umaru. That was our last video.
Umaru,
yep.
right.
We had Umaru, but we definitely did speak to Abe as well.
Yep.
And we also spoke to Crystal. For the most part, as you guys know, we've been in a pandemic. What a time it is to be in med school. What a time it is to be alive. But, you know, just being in this pandemic has changed a lot of things up, you know. So first off, we're going to start off with where the hell we've been at. Okay, so Trev, why don't you go on ahead and just give them a little rundown of what's been going on, man.
Since COVID started?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, since COVID started, I felt like we all been under a rock. Since March, I felt like it was a weird time because obviously the world was shifting from like what we see as a normal life to everybody's being quarantined. I think it was a blessing in disguise for me because it allowed me to look at things away from med school, like take myself out of like being in the books 24/7.
Right.
I was able to look a lot more into like my finances, get my acumen up with that regard. You know, I had a daughter on the way, so I was preparing for that daddy life.
She here now.
Hey, we got this. Hey, listen, man.
Woo! Man, so you know, I caught up on a lot of sleep during that time. Prepared for this time when I'm getting no sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really took that time to get into myself and really learn different specialties that we're not really exposed to, either in the field or in the books. Yeah, so it was a good time.
Man, that's great. Ken?
Man, same thing with me. We ended school, I think, the end of January. So for like 6 weeks, man, I was in the trenches studying for step 1. Just a quick plug, we're going to have a live Q&A, in-depth step video and in-depth third-year video coming up. But yeah, man, when I was taking step, bro, the world was changing before our eyes. I know me and Trev, Derek would get notifications about, hey, listen, this state is on lockdown, this state on lockdown. I'm over here thinking, listen, that's the least of my worries. You get what I'm saying? Ended up taking step like one of the very last days, March 13th. And that's when I got the notification, I think 2 days before the NBA was shut down. I was like, oh, it's real out here. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick.
So thankfully I was able to take step, and then I got the notification that, hey man, we don't need you back here till June. So I was able to spend 3 months at home in Houston with my family, my close friends, just you know, chilling, you know, learning, also reading books about Black history specifically, also increasing my financial literacy acumen, and just making sure that I'm holding it down. So when we do come back from the pandemic, I was able to come back and be on my toes.
Yeah, even though
Sir.
even though it's looking like we might come out of that pandemic 2022.
Please, we just want a 4th year, bro. Please,
we want away rotations. At
please.
This point, But just to piggyback off of what Trav and Ken were talking about, so rewind, let's say February, March, we're all in the trenches studying for step 1. Luckily, these guys were able to take it. Me, personally, I was not able to take it before the entire shutdown. These guys are living their best life, man. Like, literally living their best life. I can't think of another time where I can say I'll have 3 months off, So yeah, step 8 ate up that entire thing. But we're all here. We're all continuing. So I'm very, very grateful for that. So yeah, step was there, study for step, and then now we're 3rd year, so we're on rotations now. We're in clinical rotations, like I spoke about earlier. And it's been a lot, man. It's been a lot of great experience, just learning, being exposed to patients, and just seeing different specialties. It's really, really amazing. Absolutely. Because we're getting a sense of where we fit in. We're not quite there yet. We still have a couple more to go, but we're learning more and more each and every day. We're putting all that book knowledge to work, and it's really amazing to see everything that we've learned come to fruition. All right, so as you guys know, we're currently 3rd year students, and what that entails is for us to get out of the class and go into the clinic.
Yes, sir.
We're not taking exams. We're actually doing physical examinations on patients.
Talk to them.
So we're just gonna give you a little breakdown of our experience so far. I'm gonna hand the mic over to my brother over here, Trev.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
So like Derek was saying, there was a big transition from what we were learning in the books as 2nd years, and then getting into our 3rd year as what we're seeing as our patients as doctors. Like you go into a patient's room and say, "Hello, my name's student doctor, blah, blah, blah." Like they don't even hear the student part. They just
they see the white coat and they're like, "Oh, this guy's important."
Yep.
Even though you may not be seen like that amongst your peers, like the residents and the attendings, like you have to go in there knowing your stuff, right? You can't BS the patients because
definitely.
The line of career that we went into was for the patients and not our own ego.
Right.
But for me, I think it was a real huge mental growth spurt, and just being able to learn the ins and outs of the hospital. Like not only is the diagnosis and the medicine behind the medicine important, but it's learning like the hierarchy. Like when something needs to be ordered, who do you talk to? Those are the things like I never really thought about.
Chief resident.
Right.
Those are things you don't learn in med school,
And like all the little necessities that you may need, like nurses are really there to have your back. Like a lot of times when I don't want to run around looking for the resident that I was with, I ask the nurse, and 9 times out of 10 the nurse has the answer, and she knows how the hospital runs. So it's really dope. I'm on my 4th rotation right now. The first one I had was internal medicine, subspecialty with cardiology. I really enjoyed that. It was like a lot of longitudinal care that I thought was really dope.
Yep.
Pediatrics was my next rotation. I thought pediatrics, I love kids. I guess the only thing that really bothered me during that rotation was not only just seeing the sick kids, but I saw a lot of abuse, like a lot of kids coming in with either shaken baby syndrome or they were withdrawing off of drugs, and just there's a lot of abuse that I don't think I would really be able to partake down the line, but it really opened my eyes. And in all, I think just being in the hospital, you read a lot about these diseases, but you don't really think are like
you don't think you really see it.
But the thing is, like,
they out here, boy.
Yeah, they're really out here. And like when you're in the hospital, I feel like it's a different community of dysfunctions and diseases that we don't really see like when you're on your normal day, right? Like going to the grocery store or to the gym, you normally see healthy people. But in the hospital, you're seeing very sick people or people who are coming in and depending on you. You know? So I think that's really been one of the biggest things that I've had to learn. It's different than being in the classroom wearing your white coat than actually being in the hospital and having somebody look up to you and realize that you are a part of their care and them getting better.
Definitely agree. Yes, being in the clinic is such a such a surreal experience. It's a very, very surreal experience because, like you alluded to, you know, all these things that we read about and not necessarily took for granted, but more so read about, and it was just like seemed like somewhat of a nuisance. Like, why do I need to learn this? Or, you know, like this disease just seems so outlandish. I'm never probably gonna see it. You know? Yeah, you know, third year has been really, really, like I said before, it's been a transformative experience. Just coming from a textbook perspective to actually being thrown in the real world. And you know, a lot of the times you hear that like the first 2 years of med school don't matter, and in a sense they don't, but in a sense they do. And let me give you an example of that. So today we were rounding. One of the docs we were rounding with, man, listen, this guy brought it all the way to biochem. He brought it all the way to biochem to describe the pathologic process of a patient who had lactic acidosis, just going into the Cori cycle, the Krebs cycle, and just really bringing that biochem back to just describe a pathological process that was going on. And it was just like, damn, like he really did that. He in short really just flexed on all of us. I'm not gonna lie, he really did. He was straight up flexing today. But you know, that's just to show that, you know, with the first 2 years of medical school, it's really giving you that foundation, that knowledge, that understanding of what's going on. But you know, the next 2 years, when you're actually in the clinic, when you're actually experiencing patients, you're just learning. You're just continuously learning, and you can't learn those things from a textbook point of view. There's no textbook that's going to tell you how to really accurately talk to a patient, how to synthesize all that information and think critically and form a differential diagnosis. You know what I'm saying? Like that comes from experience. That comes from actually being thrown in there and
an
doing
action
it.
plan.
And an action plan. You know. So it's a really, really great experience. We're still learning, and it's a very humbling experience too. Because half the time, if somebody's not gonna say I will, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything. It's a very exciting experience as well, and you know, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yep. And just to piggyback off of Derek, like, okay, you think we're third years, fourth years, upperclassmen, we're somebody in med school. You get to the hospital, right? It's med students, it's interns, residents, newly minted attendings, attendants that's been in the game for like 20 years. So you really see that there's like levels to this thing, right?
It really is.
So the thing with third year, as they were saying, your first 2 years of medical school are kind of like an extension of graduate school. You really learn textbook information and having exams on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. So just, if not honestly, it's more rote memorization. But when you're in the third year and fourth year, and you're actually seeing real life patients with these real life problems, you have to your clinical skills have to come into play. Like you have to be able to see symptoms, get a history, and actually diagnose a patient or have a clue of what they're going through, so you can present it to your attending and not feel like, you know, you're a little person in the game. You get what I'm saying?
Man, I didn't really know how to present it till my third rotation in. Third rotation, that's when it really like started to actually click for me. I'm on my fourth now, and we're just getting better each and every day.
Exactly. So I started my third year rotation with OB-GYN. One interesting that I saw a baby that was born with trisomy 13. That's actually one of the rare diseases that a patient can have. You can screen for trisomy 13 within the first 10 weeks of life, and it is a chromosomal disorder where you have a year to live. And I was able to witness that, so that was truly a blessing.
Hey,
I've been on internal medicine, I was on surgery, and I'm on pediatrics. And just also just to follow up with what Derek was saying about having a plan and knowing what you're talking about, a differential diagnosis. There's a patient that came in, a little girl. She had rashes all over her body, and she was itching them. Not only that, she had shortness of breath, arthritis, and a low-grade fever. And these originally the physicians at the ED thought that it was an anaphylactic reaction, basically an allergic reaction. But as I was able to piece together the symptoms, the rash that was constantly growing, the itching, she had a low-grade fever, and she had arthritis. These were the foundation, or these were prognostic factors for
Serum sickness.
serum sickness,
Right.
serum sickness, and I was actually able to diagnose that in the child, and get a little bit of respect for my
Get a little bit
team.
of
You know what I'm
shine.
saying? Because you're being at the bottom of the totem pole. That you can. It's very. There's a lot of times where you're corrected because you don't know what you're talking about.
You
That was
don't.
the time where I was able to step up and actually feel like I contributed. So just know that I was able to, have some type of positive impact on that patient's life is what was worthwhile, to say the least.
Definitely agree. So, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any video recommendations, you guys
Something
know
that y'all would like
anything,
to see.
put us on. Let us know. See? Type and let us know right down below, and we will deliver. So that's where we're at right now. And I know this video might seem like it's a little all over the place. We're talking about STEP. We're talking about what happened during the pandemic. We're talking about clinical rotations, but that's the whole point. We just want to throw you into what's been going on.
Catch you up to
Yeah.
speed.
Catch you up to speed.
Absolutely.
But rest assured, that's the point of this video, is to catch you up to speed. And the next set of videos that we will be having, we will be diving more in depth into these topics and just updating you with things, new events that are happening as we're going through this med school journey. So really stay tuned. We got gems for you. We got advice. We have everything coming for you, and we want you
Talk
guys,
to 'em.
and exactly, we want to share this journey with you. We so desperately want to share this journey with you, and we're all very grateful for your support. We're all very grateful for when you tune in, the messages that you send to us. It really helps us to really just feel motivated and to continue to do this thing. It's a blessing. We're really appreciative of you guys. So stay tuned. It's your 3MDs. We love y'all. And
Like, comment, subscribe.
like, comment, subscribe. Stay blessed. Don't let everything that's going on get you down. There are better days ahead, for real. So
Yes, sir.
stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Appreciate
Peace and
y'all.
love.